My name is Chike Ubogo. Nigerians have concerns they wish their leaders and government could address so that they can have fulfilled celebrations and look forward to 2022 with hope and optimism. Though a Christian celebration, Christmas has turned into a cosmopolitan, cultural, and social celebration that is marked and enjoyed worldwide by different religious adherents. In Nigeria, a religiously diverse nation, many homes, Muslims, Christians, and traditional religion practitioners celebrate the spirit of friendship and camaraderie among different people. They enjoy harmless fun, exchange gifts, and share the love that is the hallmark of Christmas. It's the Christmas month, some days to Christmas. What do you expect from the government of Nigeria for Christmas? What do you want as your Christmas gift? We start on that note on the podium this morning. Once again, my name is Chike Ubogo. The program is The Podium and the station is 32 FM. The frequency is 94.9. It is time for a rigorous review of the administration and welfare aspects of many private schools in the state. An industry with such robust patronage requires a strict regime of regulation and oversight. That is the best safeguard against tragedies such as the one that just befell a young citizen, Sylvester Oromoni Jr. The tragic news of the death of 12-year-old Sylvester Oromoni of Dowen College, Lagos, has brought the issue of bullying in schools at all levels to the fore once again. There are conflicting narratives about the root cause of young Sylvester's death. First is the claim by his family that the 12-year-old boy, before his passage, stated that some of his peers in school tried to initiate him into a cult group and forced him to drink some strange liquid which he resisted. And he was beaten up, which led to his death in a Warri hospital. Before he passed, his cousin alleged that he mentioned 5 names of those involved. There is a counter-narrative from the school authorities, however. They claim that the late Sylvester sustained injury from playing football with his colleagues. He was given first aid, but the situation deteriorated as young Sylvester complained of hip pain the next day and was attended to by the school doctor. The school invited the parents to pick him up for proper medical attention when there was no improvement. The two versions of the same story above are far apart and conflicting. The critical issue now is whose version should Nigerians believe and the implication of this for society. The fact remains that we may not know the truth of what happened to Sylvester until the investigation into the matter is concluded. As traumatic and emotive as the story is, it suggests that everyone should desist from jumping to hasty conclusions until the facts are laid out by the investigators. But what stories do we have to learn? The families of Sylvester and the school management must allow for a thorough investigation of this issue. Our society deserves to know the truth about this issue. Nothing but the truth can assure all the safety of young people in the minimum of our country, and that is the minimum our country can guarantee these folks and their parents. What is truth in this context? Truth in this context is costly. The dynamic nature of the case may becloud people's objectivity and make them pander to sensationalism and a media trial. Social media is awash with claims and counterclaims of evidence to justify one version of the story or the other. People may easily condone seductive rumor, half-truth, wild allegations, or outright falsehood sold to them through social media, which may persuade the court of public opinion towards accepting the bullying narrative. If that narrative turns out untrue, it becomes difficult to undo the damage that it may have caused society. We need to be guided. The dilemma is that if we dismiss the bullying narrative because we want to preserve and the reputation of our institution at the expense of endangering the lives of others who may be victims tomorrow, posterity will not be kind to us. Whatever the case may be, the convenient truth is that the state owes us the duty of going to any length to establish the truth of this matter promptly, logically, and credibly. That is the only thing that can assuage the fears of all citizens, parents, students, teachers, and school authorities on this matter. Even if bullying is not directly linked to the death of Sylvester, it is endemic in our schools today. There is a statistical increase in cases of bullying and physical intimidation in our educational system. No one knows whether the trend reflects the rise of a violent culture in the wider society, but it does seem that the attraction of the profit motive is swamping the responsibility of private school administrators to protect the young ones entrusted in their care. It is time for a rigorous review of the administration and welfare aspects of many private schools in Nigeria. An industry with such robust patronage requires a strict regime of regulation and oversight. That is the best safeguard against tragedies such as the one that just befell the young boy Sylvester Oromoni Jr. In line with William Golding, his book The Lords of the Files, young people have a proclivity to run wild and hurt each other deeply when adults have not established rules and regulations that guide the relationships between and among the young people. Young people with a jack-like disposition may create mayhem within a school environment and institute a reign of terror and pain on others without any compulsion. What happened to Sylvester Oromoni? What happened to the young 12-year-old boy? Let's listen to his father narrate what happened to his son, the last days of his son with the father. Let's listen to Sylvester Oromoni Sr.
Sylvester Romani Jr. was my last child. He was born on the 4th of December 2009. Through CS out of 11, and he was the last. And what happened was that I sent 4 of them to that school. The rest ones went to Benedict and other schools, but 4 of them, the one I sent to that school. The first one, God is great, finished 2 years back. It's in Canada. Then the second one finished this last semester, this recent YA, this last section, the same school. Then this one I left, she's in SS1. And my son, Sylvester Romani Jr., was in SS2. It was not the 2 of them that were left in that school before this incident. Now, sometime October, before then, we've been experiencing so many things. If you give this boy 50,000 naira provision, it doesn't take him 1 week. But he will refuse to talk what is happening to his provision. His clothes, his shoes, any good thing that he has, money. So we now decided that we give the money to the house master, one Mr. Ahmed. Now this October month, after October, they wanted to beat up our brother. What happened? So somebody told her that he said he saw a private part. The boy said no, that in the hostel, they asked him, have you seen your sister's private part? Nakedness. He said no, they're my sisters, how can I see their nakedness? Then they started beating him, that unless he said, he should tell them he has seen their private part. That's the only way they will stop beating him. So he has to agree, yes, I've seen their nakedness. So one of these boys, what's his name? The Favor, is in the same class with you, the same set with this my daughter. It wasn't the one who informed you that your sister said, your brother said you have seen the private part.
Yes, it was the one that told me.
The same boy that threatened him to say he has seen his sister's private went to the sister. This was the number I said, he has seen your private part. Your nakedness. That was why she wanted to beat a younger brother. So when the boy and I explained, she left him. So when they came to the house doing the meeting, they brought up this matter. I said, okay, my senior son who is in London now, Kenneth, his name is Kenneth. And now went to the school, called the school authorities, and explained to them. According to them, they invited these boys. They even told us they suspended them, this same boy. So after the meet and greet, all of them went back to school. That was the first incident. But this one that happened last weekend. Last week. But we got the call on Monday. They called my wife on Monday. But I can't specifically say it happened on Saturday or Sunday. Because on Monday, it was a nurse from the sick bay that called. A nurse, not even the school authority. Called that Sylvester Romani Jr. is sick, that is in the sick bay. That the parents should come and carry him. That Monday it was late. And my son, the kid, the one that is in London, was also in worry. Myself was in worry. Then the mother too, all of us were in worry. Then one of our boy, his friends, we asked him to go and carry the boy on Tuesday from the school. What happened? We now called the house master, Mr. Ahmed. He now said, Sylvester Romani Jr. said he fell while playing football. Yeah, are you sure? So when the boy went to the school to pick him that Tuesday, the boy said, this one is beyond form. That the whole body, if he even want to carry him, he couldn't move. If you want to carry him, anywhere he touch, he'll be shouting. And he will open his mouth, put his hand here. Then what happened? The mouth here started having sign of peeling. You know, like when fire burns somebody, immediately it will now peel to that red color, whatever. It will look dark first. Then finally it will now peel up. That was the beginning. So the boy now called my son, who is his friend, Kenneth. Said, this boy, body serious. The boy could not stand. The boy could not eat. The boy is shouting my mouth, my waist, my back, my chest, everywhere. It's okay. I'm now asking us to go to Lagos on Wednesday. When he got to Lagos, get to the house, Kenneth now called, my son called. Said, Daddy, this case is beyond me staying because he's traveling to London that Saturday. I said, okay, don't worry, I'm coming. In the night, nobody will sleep. You have to carry him to toilet. If you want to woo, you carry him. Anything, then you will turn him. He'll be telling you, press here, press my chest, my throat. Some more time will say, hey, my back, turn my leg. Wait, oh, carry the legs small. He will be shouting every part of his body. What happened? He will tell you, I fall. He will not tell you exactly what happened. Fall. Your leg, the school said, you have fracture in your leg. This fracture in your leg now turn to every part of your, including your mouth, inside your tongue, your throat. Okay. When I got to Lagos that Thursday, I asked my son, because he didn't sleep throughout the night. So go to your room and sleep. I will be with you. So I was the one carrying him throughout the night. Nobody sleep. Me too, I didn't sleep. So in the evening, I made some contact to get flight back to Warri with him that Friday. That was last week Friday. Flight everywhere is fully booked. Benin fully booked. Asaba fully booked. Warri fully booked. We now decided to take road. My son has a truck. Then me to have Tundra. I have my Mokote to come from Warri to wait for us at Izebode roundabout. So in the morning we moved through Ekpe and we met at Izebode roundabout. We now proceed to Warri. That was how I was petting him. He would sleep on my lap. Some time he would say, this side, turn this side. That was how we were doing till we got to Warri. But the road was very bad. That time they blocked Benin bypass. So we have to suffer miss road till finally get to Warri very late in the evening. So as I got to Warri, I now said for one of our uncles, as from my side, I said, let him check the leg. If there's anything like dislocation, since it's football, then touch the waist too. The man checked the waist, said there's nothing like dislocation. Said, but the laps, the ears too, everywhere is swollen. Even that time, when he confessed that time that the harassment, the first one, he was crying, said they will kill him.
He had told you before that they
will beat him. They will beat him. So my son should take it easy. So, but my son refused. He went to the school. The school said they've taken care of everything. They're now moving from because they put that small boy and those big boys in the same hostel. The same room. How can they put SS1 boys and just two boys, SS2 boys, SS1 boys, and just two boys in the same room? See? So they're now moving from that room to another room where it's made according to the school authority. They did that. Eh? Yeah. My daughter said they did that. So now on this fateful day, I came with him to Warri. Yes. I called up uncle to check. He said no dislocation. He said, but everywhere is swollen. Everywhere, the rib side, and we were shouting his chest and his throat. But my brother, look at what I want to do. He will open his mouth. What happened to your throat? But that time, the mouth has started peeling. The mouth has started peeling. So we now call our family doctor to come and take blood sample. Because since he could not lie down and sleep, we carried him to toilet. We decided to keep him at home. They bring doctor to be taking care of him at home. So the doctor came and took sample. He came with the result and said he was having malaria. But then his body was very hot. Then they started treating him malaria. They gave him first, because he has not been eating, they gave him drip that will let him get appetite. That one, they don't mix that one at all. Just plain something. That's one. Then after they now give him the fever drip. Then they still give him that other one to sustain so that he will not be hungry. That was.
At that point, we didn't know that it was beating.
Even at that point, we never knew that he was beating, but he has not confessed. We never knew that he was even giving something to drink, but he has not confessed.
So at what point did he then reveal what happened to him?
So it was on Monday, between the hours of 11 and 12. That was when he started confessing. He told us that he didn't play ball. He didn't go to any field. That he was in his room with his mates, sleeping on his bed in the evening. But he didn't give us the time. But he said it was in the night. These boys walked into that hostel, the junior students hostel.
It's the same hostel, just their room.
Okay,
yes,
it's the same hostel, eh?
Yes.
It's not their room, separate room.
Yes.
Okay. They walked into their room, they put off the lights. He was lying on his bed. They started beating him. With belt. They beat him, then he fell from his bed. They started mashing with a leg. So that all these places that are paining him is as a result of those bruises. He said nobody, he did not play ball with anybody. Then at the end, they gave him something to drink. He did not know what they gave to him to drink. That was the confession of the boy. He said they were 5. He mentioned 3. He mentioned Benjamin Favor. He mentioned Aslem Temile, Benjamin Favor, then Kasamu Michael. Kasamu Michael.
Yeah.
He mentioned those 3. So, but because the place was dark, the other ones, he was hearing their voice when they were beating him, but he could not get, he can't remember their names. So, but they were 5. Then, according to him, they said, they tell all the rest people, maybe whether they send them out or they gather them in one place, that we do not act. He said, if we not talk, we'll kill all of you. If they ask you, tell even the school people, say you were playing ball, say you fall. They threaten them. So the children said, we will not talk, we will not talk. So up till this time, it's because of that threat that made him not to say this thing.
I was in the school, so it was like, it felt like my set boys too, they were like protecting him in a way. And this Michael Kashamu, there was an incident with him. I don't know what happened, but the seniors tend to be very power drunken. So I don't exactly, he was in SS1 then, last session, now he's in SS2. So I don't really remember the incident, but I'm pretty sure it was a very minor incident because he is a junior. He wasn't rude to his senior. He wasn't rude or anything. He's the kind of person that, he will even want to kiss up to his senior so they would like him. So they won't be mean to him, you understand? Because, yes, they know his sister, they know his brother. So during the incident, when my set mate boys heard, they were on 3rd floor because they keep the SS3s and I think some of the SS2s on 3rd floor. So all of my set boys went downstairs and took him. And the next day they came to school and they came to tell me, Amira, see, we took your brother, don't worry, nothing happened to him. We took care of your brother. They almost beat him, but we took care of him. So I don't know if it's that feeling of, okay, they've protected you too much. Let's wait for your sister to go. Let's see what happens. So it's like every little thing he does is like they put their eye on him to make sure they do something to him. Because in GS1, the incidents we had were the provisions and his things getting stolen. Even the first week he started school, his things finished. And my mom went to Lagos to visit him because he's her last born. He just entered secondary school. She was in Lagos. She wanted to see him before she traveled back to Delta. So when he told her that, my things were stolen, so she felt like he was being careless. She felt he was being very careless about his things. So she scolded him, but then they replaced the things. So from there, another incident about the provisions came again. So that's when he kept him with Mr. Ahmed. So they've been keeping him with Mr. Ahmed for a year now with his money and everything. So none of the things have been, so if any minor incident with his set mates should come up or anything, he always used to report to me. I was the one that they called this when this event happened in October, when my sister called me to complain that, oh, see what her friend told her, that my brother went to say that he saw me naked and all. And then I called Mr. Ahmed's phone to speak to him, and I started scolding him. He was quiet on the call. That's one thing I had to understand, that he was quiet on the call. And normally, if you do something like that proudly, there's a way you also try to defend yourself. So, but he didn't try to do any of that. He was quiet, like, okay, I seem to deserve this. You understand? So when he told me that they beat him up, my brother called me later and was scolding me because I just left the school. So he's like, how can you just leave and immediately? There must be something wrong.
I kept on saying I'm going to make sure that they suspend those boys because I know what it is. But after he has opened up, I know what they could do. So I was telling the house parents, I told her that no matter what it is, that I won't rest until they suspend him. And they asked me to write a statement about it. I wrote a statement about it. And they said they were going to ask my brother and Favor for their own statements. So after that, I think the matter died and I just let it go. So moving on, now I'm hearing from my dad that the school said that they suspended them the last time. It did not happen. They weren't suspended. I tried my best and I tried several times, and people were trying to even say that why was I not forgiving him? Things like, I was very bitter throughout.
The schools explained the position of those boys. But as soon as they finished the confession that Monday, my son in London got a call across to the principal of the school. He called the housemaster,
Mr. Ahmed.
Mr. Ahmed, yeah. So my son in London, as soon as the boy finished that confession, mentioned those boys. He now placed a call across to the school. They called Ahmed. Ahmed was crying. He said, Ahmed, I want to see your face. I'm calling you on video call. Now, please talk to me on video call.
I saw that.
You saw that,
I saw that part, and they didn't want to let me know of what had happened. So they let me leave the place.
Oh, they allow you to leave the place?
Yes.
They don't want you to know that
they didn't want me to know that
it's dead. Okay. So my son now asked Ahmed, who are those boys? He now mentioned the 3 names. I want to talk to them. Please, I want to interview them. They were the one that killed my brother. Then go and give the phone to the principal, please. Still on video call, Ahmed went and gave the phone to the principal. The phone was on video call where the principal sent for those 3 children. Then I interviewed them. The children said they did not beat, that they were told that he went to play football and he was injured. So the same statement the school gave, it was the same statement those 3 boys gave. So, but while my brother, my son was talking to them, he screenshot.
Yes, he screenshotted.
He screenshotted their faces. That was how he was able to get the faces of those boys.
You listened to Sylvester Oromoni Sr. there, the father of the late Sylvester Oromoni Jr., the 12-year-old boy. Amira, his elder sister, who was also a student of the same school, Dowen College, in SS2, also spoke there. She gave an account of what happened to her brother before he passed on. It's still the Podium on 32 FM 94.9, the station where joy resides. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll look more, we'll ask some questions, we'll analyze this. Don't go away. I am Chike Obogo.
Ọdún alámọ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe ń gbáradì láti múnú àwọn ọmọ yín dùn nínú ọdún kérésìmesì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá àwọn ìwé ọ̀nàrẹ́bù àbáyọ̀mí fágbénró bíbíire náà ṣetán láti múnú àwọn ọmọdé tó tó 7,000 dùn lásìkò yìí. àbáyọ̀mí fágbénró bíbíire tí ò ṣe fowórà ti ṣàgbékalẹ̀ wíwo bàbá kérésì lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ pẹ̀lú gbígba ẹ̀bùn lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan àti gígùn àwọn nǹkan ìṣeré ọmọdé pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìgbádùn rẹpẹtẹ ọ̀fẹ́ ló bá dé látọwọ́ ọ̀nàrẹ́bù àbáyọ̀mí fágbénró bíbíire kílẹ̀ tó ń dúró dè ká pàdé bàbá kérésì lọ́jọ́ 24 oṣù kejìlá ọdún tá a wà yìí ní dédé aago 10 òwúrọ̀ sáago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ nínú ọgbà NCRI lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ police post àpáta ìbàdàn. ẹ̀yin bàbá màmá àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ pàdé bàbá kérésì ọ̀fẹ́ lówó wọlé ká tún jọ ṣàjọyọ̀.
bàbá tẹ́ntẹ́ máa wọlé oníwòsàn ìbílẹ̀ máa níṣó ẹṣẹ́ ìtọ́jú tẹ́ mú wá fún wa o káàbọ̀ àti ìrètí rẹ.
bàbá tẹ́ntẹ́ ń dé o adíá fún oníwòsàn ìbílẹ̀ káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ tó ti kalẹ̀ sígboro ìlú ìbàdàn. bàbá tẹ́ntẹ́ ní jẹ́ tó bá jẹ́ ti ká gbani nímọ̀ràn lórí onírúurú àìlera ara. a kọ́kọ́ ṣe àyẹ̀wò fínífíní fún yín lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé kí ẹ tó gbà yín nímọ̀ràn lórí ìtọ́jú tí ó yẹ. gbogbo àwọn tó ti yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ wa ni wọ́n ń dúpẹ́ fẹ́lẹ́dùmarè ọba.
ọ̀rẹ́ níbo lọ́dọ̀ bàbá tẹ́ntẹ́.
number 5 adébára street lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ abbey technical school odò ọ̀nà eléwé off akala express oríta challenge ìbàdàn. ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni 08052255073 tàbí 08162868004.
ìbílẹ̀ bàbá God ló ń tì ọ́ lẹ́yìn.
gbogbo olólùfẹ́ àtọ́níbàárà gold mender global investment limited ẹ tún kú àmójúbà ayẹyẹ gbàǹgbàǹgbà kọ́kọ́ lúkọ́kọ́ 7th anniversary crowning the face of gold mender and 3rd edition of the unveiling of the new brand ambassador for the year 2022. gbogbo ẹ̀yin iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá tẹ́ ẹ mọ iye àwọn ojú tó pawọ́ ìràwọ̀ òṣèré amúlùdùn tó lé lọ́gọ́ta 60 láti jẹ brand ambassador fún iléeṣẹ́ yín lówó péréte pẹ̀lú àdéhùn ọdún kan gbáko. lára wọn ni délé odùlé fẹ́mi adébáyọ̀ mú ìwà àdèmọ́lá yẹmi sọ́ládé kọ́láwọlé ajẹyẹmí kamilu kọ̀ǹpó dr jokemu ìwà táyé kọ́rẹ́nsì tóyọ̀sí adésànyà wásílà kódẹ̀ ọmọwùmí ajíbóyè dàmọ́lá ọlátúnjí aishalawa mama no network yíwàndé adékọ̀yà mutiwa adépọ̀jù ẹniọlá àfi gbẹ̀ngàdé yínká big bọ́lájí ṣèyí lọ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ coming up on thursday 16 december 2021 at mo 21 event center opposite first bank ring road ìbàdàn 10 a.m. prompt call 0803 413 6370 gold mender grand occasion you must be there.
bá a ṣe láwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ dókítà tíṣẹ́yé bẹ́ẹ̀ náà la láwọn àwòrán àṣà mẹkáníìkì tí ò ní dákún sòrò ọkọ̀ sọ́kọ̀ dálùpùpù. GMF Auto Services Limited bóyá ẹ̀ tí ì débẹ̀ wò ní ọ̀jẹ̀ mọ̀ pọ́nmọ́nàmọ́ pa. àwọn erin lákàtàbù irinṣẹ́ ni ó diagnose mọ́tò yín kẹ́sẹ́ bí wọ́n ti máa fẹnu fapò sórí carburetor. wait and get ni kò ní lọ kábọ̀ tí machine bá ti ń discover problem láàmú fix ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kan. torí gbogbo original spare part ń bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ̀ bíbá. àwọn aláràlù àtàwọn aláràtúntà gan tó wá ń kó lọ́pọ̀ yanturu. ṣẹ̀rí pé gbogbo ń tẹ́ fẹ́ lójú kan ló wà.
Yes, so no go allow person wey no sabi damage your motor. Our services na consultancy, diagnosis, key programming, transmission repair, maintenance, spare part sales, plus plenty ogbonge things. GMF Auto Services Limited dey for number 3 Oni Lane beside White House Hotel behind Boys High School, Labawo, Ogunpa, Ibadan.
ẹ kọ́ pé wọ́n lórí aago náà kẹ́ ẹ mọ bó ṣe wà sí 08066348917 tó o bá fẹ́ kẹ́mi ọkọ̀ rí ogun GMF ni ó yàn láàyò.
An exciting day at school begins with breakfast plus Peak 456 growing up milk fortified with DHA to support brain development.
Grow up strong and smart with Peak 456 growing up milk every day.
When the people became silent,
the government became oppressive. It's time to lend your voice to politics.
On 32 FM 94.9.
Nigeria gbogbo. A ní láti gbàdúrà gidi, a ní láti gbàdúrà gidi.
ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ ni wá bàbá ẹ dáríjì wá o ẹ máa ń wò tẹ̀sẹ̀ mọ́ wa lára bàbá. Mo wọlé, mo wọlé, mo wọlé fàdúrà. Youth of the nation, we need a vision and rededication, for we have a mission. Bàbá ẹ dáríjì wá o ẹ máa wo tẹ̀sẹ̀ mọ́ wa lára. Bàbá 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 mo wọlé mo wọlé mo wọlé fàdúrà. Lift up his nation now we take time when you go away.
Welcome back. It's still the Podium on 32 FM 94.9. Listening to Lagbaja there. Prayer for the youth. Indeed, the youth need prayers. Before we went on that break, you heard the voice of Sylvester Oromoni's father, and you heard the voice of his sister, Amira. After that incident, it was an eye-opener. Many people, especially from his school, started reacting. And while reacting, we'll get to what the Parent Teachers Association said, the reaction from them. But there are some questions that need some answers. If you listened to the father of Sylvester speaking there, 3 of the accused, all of whom are believed to be under the age of 18, were detained by the Lagos State Police. However, many people have expressed concerns about the prospects for prosecution since the students are minors. If the account of the family detailing a physical attack and subsequent chemical poisoning are ascertained during the investigation, Oromoni's death will be considered a murder case. There are special courts and detention facilities catering to offenders as young as the boys if they are found guilty. Section 319 of the Criminal Code stipulates that if the offender has not attained 17 years of age, they shall be ordered to be detained during the pleasure of the president in murder cases. If you go through the Criminal Code, you see it there. Let us look at this again. There was an altercation between Sylvester's mother and a teacher who resigned 9 years ago from that school. This happened in an online meeting of parents and teachers. Let us listen to this little altercation here between Sylvester's mother and a teacher who claimed he left the school 9 years ago and claimed that he knew all these things were happening in the school. Stay tuned, don't go away.
Sylvester Romani Jr. was my last.
I was a guidance counselor for many years, and I want to say right away that I worked at Darwin College for several years. One of the problems we have with most of the boarding houses today is that the structures are not built they're not purpose-built for boarding houses. I might be referring to Darwin College. Now, a situation where you have several stories, several floors, and no floor has a house parent monitoring the students. By the time you hear a sound and you go upstairs, the seniors have changed the story. That's exactly what happened at Darwin College. From the first day, they moved the students out of hired buildings into the permanent hostel. It was a time bomb waiting. Eventually, I resigned and left them. I went to A-Hall from Darwin College because of that situation. The children are not well monitored. I shouldn't say too much about the place.
I'm sorry to say, why are you saying it now when a child has died?
Secondly,
why did you not say things? Why are you saying it now? My child was bullied, I almost died in Darwin College. Why did you not speak out now? Why did you not speak out then? That child has died now. And now you are talking, you saw this thing for 9 years, then you left this school.
And I resigned because of that.
My son is the victim. They did exactly what they did to
the second problem, madam.
They put off the light. They beat him. They were dancing around. They carried a box on his head. That boy could have been my child.
Good evening. Good evening.
The second problem, madam.
Please.
The second issue, ma'am.
No, please hold on.
We
please accept our condolence, ma'am. All this is. Please accept our. I think that's
the second issue, madam.
Can you hold on, please? Hold on, sir. Can you hold on, please? Can you hold on?
You're talking. If you are a counselor, listen to the mother.
Let her talk. Exactly. I did know
that's the problem we have. Listen.
Thing that they did to Sylvester Romani, they did it to my son. They entered the room. They put off the light. 7 of them. They brought my son to kneel down. They put a suitcase on his head. They were dancing around him like in an aquatic gathering. They were beating him. At the same time, they took out a phone. They recorded it. That video is online somewhere. And you are telling me that you left nowhere because of the bullying. Why did you not say it? So that more like us, we don't make the mistake of taking over our children at home. I have been crying since on Thursday that I saw this video. I have not eaten, I have not drank, I have not slept. Our child has died. That boy was 11 years. Same age with my son. He could have been my son that died. I was lucky. Sylvester wasn't lucky. You are saying this now, having observed such a thing for 9 years. On what basis are you talking? On what grounds are you talking? They give security man in Darwin College ATM card to go and withdraw 50,000 naira, and then they begin to spend the money. Children will spend money. These children called security men by their names. Valentine is so fat he cannot climb up. He's downstairs. Ahmed, the housemaster, he doesn't climb up. The only grace that the guest hostel has is because of a lady they call Selim. Madam Selim, she's the woman in guest hostel. So she put discipline. You cannot bully in guest hostel in Darwin College. But you see the boys hostel, that 3rd floor is the den where they commit the havoc. These children are bad. Everything Sylvester Romani said is the truth. They should arrest Ahmed. They should arrest Valentine. These are the housekeepers. The principal told me that she saw my son's video of being bullied, but she did not think it was important to act because they had not posted it online. She saw it and she slept on it. And you are telling me that you knew and you people allowed us to bring in our children. You collected 3 million for school fees and they cannot put ordinary CCTV camera. They cannot put ordinary CCTV camera. My 11-year-old child just left home in September and they bullied him. They tortured him. They battered him. 7 boys, including Benjamin Favor, who was named in Sylvester Romani's case. And you are telling me you are aware. What kind of a father are you?
Very much.
What kind of a father are you? Why did you not speak out before leaving? Why?
That was the Parent-Teacher Association meeting online of the Dowen College parents. You heard the altercation there. One of the teachers who left there 9 years ago on that platform revealed that he knew these things were going on. And you heard the voice of Sylvester's mother. And you heard another woman. Did you hear another woman, a parent? Did you hear her react to the teacher on her child who was bullied also in that school? Bullying in our schools, it seemed to be the order of the day. We'll go on a break. And when we come back, the podium continues. Don't go away. It's 32 FM 94.9.
Remember this date. Sunday, 19th December, Super Sunday. Super Picks are guaranteeing the 50 million naira jackpot will be won. One lucky Super Picks player walks away with a guaranteed 50 million naira. Because on Super Sunday, the closest predictions are good enough to win you the 50 million naira jackpot. To become Nigeria's newest millionaire, all you need to do is go to superpicks.com, make your 6 predictions before the round closes on Sunday, December the 19th at 1 p.m. and wait for the magic to happen. Remember, the 50 million naira jackpot will drop on December the 19th. Super Picks are going to change someone's life and it could be yours. Normally, to win that 50 million naira jackpot, you would need to get all 6 predictions right. But on Super Sunday, Super Picks are guaranteeing the closest predictions are good enough. That's right. The closest predictions will win you 50 million naira. Friends, trust me, Super Picks has already made over 20 millionaires so far in Niger. And on Super Sunday, December 19th, there will be a multi-major winner of the 50 million naira jackpot. Will it be you? I will explain it one last time. Go to superpicks.com and make your 6 predictions before the round closes on Sunday, December 19th at 1 p.m. That's it. I don't know about you guys, but with a guaranteed winner of that 50 million naira jackpot, I'll be playing for sure. If anyone can win, why not me? So, why don't I give it a try? Go to superpicks.com and play for free. Win for real.
Isizwe simnyama iwasafa isizwe saba lamula mola ayinkokhelize wemaye wemolo asafasa phela isizwe simnyama iwasafa isizwe saba lamula mola ayinkokhelize wemaye ngiyakhala.
Are you following the story? Sylvester Romoni's story. Very pathetic. A young boy who was bullied in his school and then he died. We'll still look at it vis-a-vis the capitalist view, the socialist view, and we'll look at it the communist view way. When this news broke, a public affairs analyst, also a journalist, came out and had his own view about this. Babajide Otitoju. What did he say about the Dowen College issue? Let's take a listen to Babajide Otitoju.
It's so tear-jerking. It's so perplexing that this has happened in a secondary school. But I know before now that autism had already permeated our secondary schools. Cultists are in our secondary schools. Cultism is the biggest security problem facing Lagos State. And that was why the state came up with a new law on cultism. That law even seeks to punish parents in the event of the arrest of their children for cultism-related offenses. So now for cultism to have already gotten into secondary schools in Lagos, it shows that we have a very big problem on our hands. How the state government resolve this matter will determine whether this sort of thing will happen again. It is commonplace to bully people in schools, but to go to the extent that we have seen in the case of that school is downright condemnable and abominable. Aberrant behavior was on display, and Lagos State government has to come down hard to ensure that this sort of thing does not happen again. If people are allowed to waste the lives of other children in boarding house, then this problem will never end. Examples must be made of the students that already have been listed as having had a hand in the death of that boy. The school has questions to answer. No one will be quite pleased with some of the allegations that were raised or that the school tried to deflect. The school needs to do a better job of defending itself on this matter. But one thing is certain, Ibrahim, cultism is already alive and well in Lagos schools.
Safa, safa, sapeli sizo simnyama. Iwasafa, isizo saba. Kavula mola, haniko kalize. Wemaye wemolo. Safa, sapeli sizo simnyama. Iwasafa, isizo saba. Kavula mola, haniko kalize.
Gbàdúrà fún mi, bàbá mi máa ṣeun rere. Gbàdúrà fún mi, ọmọ tẹ́ bá wíwà burúkú wá ní ìyá rẹ̀ lóko. Ọmọ tẹ́ bá wíwà burúkú wá ní bàbá rẹ̀ lóko. Ìyá mi fọ̀nà tó dá mi láyé, bàbá mi fi wá tó dá mi láyé. Ayé tí mo wà yìí kò máa yé mi o. Ẹ̀yin ni Ọlọ́run kejì mi láàyè. Ìyàwó ẹ ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára. Bàbá wa ẹ ṣeun rere tí wọ́n dára.
Welcome back. You listened to the narration of the father. You listened to what the sister said. You listened to that altercation amongst parents and an ex-teacher under the PTA platform. You listen to Babajide Otitoju on his thoughts on the Dowen College. What do you have to say? On this side of the podium, I have my guest here who will be looking at this. Oyeni Eson, it's good to have you on the podium this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chike.
Very pathetic story, right?
It's a very pathetic story. It's a story of tears. It's a story of sorrow. It's a story not worthy. It's a shame to our society at large.
When you see or hear such stories, who is to be blamed?
The society at large.
The society. When you say the society at large, look, going by what's just played out, you heard the story by the father. The father seemed not to be always around.
The collapse of discipline and orderliness in our school is a reflection of the collapse in the virtues in our society. It shows that our society is lacking in morals. It's a reflection of what the children see. It's what they live, it's their life. And let's put into consideration the class of these children. This is a school where the school fees about $1 million naira.
Or more. Yeah.
And the child that died is a child that takes 50,000 naira weekly on provision.
According to the father.
That is another shame. We are going to blame the parents in the society. Are we going to blame the parents for paying so much? It's a shame on the part of the student of the schools too, for lacking in security. For an instance, a 3-story building hostel having one house parents, how can you monitor all of them? And they are paying so much. It's a shame on the part of the school too.
One of the parents said, with the amount of money they pay in the school, that the school was supposed to have closed circuit television cameras around.
Yes, and these are not in place. These are things lacking behind. If this cannot happen in a developed country, because it could have been reflected, the boy involved could have viewed his.
But when you look at it, we have bullies everywhere, But for you to have it in a school where it has turned into cultism, turned into gangsterism,
in a society full of bandits, kidnappers. It's something is everywhere. It's a reflection that Nigeria is failing. It's a reflection that things are not in place. There are no standards. There is no home again. The father is not there. The teachers are not there. The house parents are not there. The proprietor is not there. Nobody is there for them.
So who will take care of them? Where will they call home?
In the essence of plenty, they could not even see the care. They could not even see a confidant.
Even when there is plenty.
In the word of plenty, in the word of 50,000 naira weekly, provision 50,000 naira weekly, 11-year-old boy. This is an abuse. Take it or you leave it.
So who are you blaming now?
I'm blaming the society at large. I'm blaming the parents. I'm blaming the guardians. I'm blaming the school authority. I'm blaming the system. The system.
When you say system, what system? What system are you blaming?
The system that permits a parent who lives in Delta and you cannot find a school for a child or ward in Delta and bring such child down to Lagos in a school where the child is not secured.
Because obviously the guy wasn't secured enough to die.
I won't be living in Delta and my child be going to school in Lagos. Even if it's a boarding house. What am I preaching? Let's check the profile of the parents involved. It's as if they are running for a form of insecurity to another form of insecurity. It's showing that no place is safe. Look at the mindset of our young children. Look at the mindset. Look at the mindset. Later it was discovered, I don't know how far it is true, that the substance involved was oil. Engine oil.
Well, it's yet to be proven. Well, many speculations. Some say it's engine oil, some say it's this, some say it's black oil and all that. But then we'll leave that to investigations and all that, and we see what comes out of that. But let's look at a kid who was brought home with swollen body parts. His tummy was swollen, his eyes were swollen, he had sore on his mouth and all that. And I felt you're supposed to take him straight to a hospital
for proper examination.
Does this show the weakness of the exposure of the parents, the level of education of the parents?
I cannot say the level.
Is it about education? Is it about exposure? Is it about
everything? Everything is involved. The life of 11-boy-year-old is pathetic. We're sitting down discussing the life of a boy killed by his mates. It's a society where there is greed, where there is a poverty of a kind. If I'm talking about poverty, it could be of the mind, it could be of any form. But there is something poor that is in place. We are poor in our morality. There are no standards, there are no virtues. Let's see.
Social values gone.
The parent was saying, frankly speaking, in one of the the interview, that they called the security guards by name.
The kids called the security guards by name. Yeah.
Razaki, come. Take this ATM. Go and get me this 50,000. Go and get me this 30,000. That is the background of that school. You can see that the ethics of education, in the sense of knowledge, is not there. If morality is lost.
Morality is lost.
It's lost. Where can we now find it?
Cultism in school.
Cultism in school. What is the origin of cultism? Where does it start from?
So if this is prevalent, getting prevalent in secondary schools, I think the searchlight should be beamed in universities, where it seemed to be a haven of such.
The Bible says, when the foundation is destroyed, what shall the righteous do? This primary secondary school is the foundation of this future generation. We cannot see what is now in place. These children have access to internet personally, meaning they have the right to check anything they want to check on the internet without restrictions. So they are talking about the nakedness of his sister. They are having a pornographic knowledge of person. They are discussing that in his school. That shows that there are no enough tax by the school authority for these kids. It shows that there are no enough tax for them academically, for them physically. There are tax that engage towards.
They're not engaging these kids.
They are not being engaged
enough, right?
Enough. I believe that in schools of those days, we close by 4. We have an extension of lessons by 6. When the parent comes to pick us up, we go straight to church again. That kind of background. We cannot expect us to have such luxury. So I think it's a reflection of the upper class. It's a reflection of what is going on in the upper class.
You're talking about this class status.
Yes, it's a reflection of that class. How the class has deteriorated in values.
How do we link this with the upper class and capitalism? You're trying to link this. What's the synergy?
Let me now let's check 2 examples side by side.
Yeah.
There is a school in Delta that was reported in Edo that the students beat up their teachers, beat up a
police officer.
Yeah. That is a class. When we check the class of that, it's a public school owned by the government, meant for the children of the poor. That shows the system we're practicing. The children of the poor are rebelling against the authority. For the upper class, look where the oppression is going on. Lives are not being cleaned. Innocent lives.
Upper class and the lower class.
So it's class distinction. So there is violence everywhere. The road is not safe. The school is not safe. The church is not safe. Nowhere is safe. Irrespective of class now. So cultism that is meant to be, that was used to be meant to be practiced by some class of students, is now taking place by. There is no age limit to crime. And as regards punishment, let's take it or leave it. If these children were found guilty, they will face the wrath of God. There is facilities for them. It's going to be an eye opener to other kids in that status too. Look at how we were told that some students they flew some out of the country.
Well, that's an allegation. We're yet to hear from the police command, and at some point the police command through the PRO, Adekunle Ajishebutu CSP, said the matter was not reported formally in Lagos State before the man, because the father took him to Delta State.
Yes.
And the father, according to his own statement, said he wrote a petition. He wrote a petition in Delta State. And then if that happened, how then? Because where the area of jurisdiction, where it actually happened was in Lagos State. So I believe the investigations should start from Lagos State, not from Delta State.
It's going to start in Lagos State because the sequence to the crime, the events that leads to the crime happened in Lagos. The beating, the torture, the beating, the exploitation, all these events that led to this boy's death all happened in Lagos. So the jurisdiction is still going to be in Lagos.
Let's look at a probable solution to this. Do you think if the society were to be together, equal, where everyone owns the resources in the society, there will be this common goal of moral standards, sanity? What I mean is, socialism meant to stop this decadence.
As a socialist, I will tell you that is the answer. Because let's look at some factors that will lead to this thing. We call something dialectical materialism. These factors, some factors that lead to all these events. The bridge between the rich and the poor is very wide. If it's not wide, the gatesman will not feel inferior.
The what?
The gatesman
in the school will not feel inferior. Yeah.
By being ridiculed by the students, being sent as errand boys. Look at our movies, look at our films, the reflection of society. We see those people who are less privileged. They also must reflect less thinking. So look at the guardian going to bank on an errand for 11 years old boy, for a 12-year-old boy. So there is a gap. Look at the parent of these words that will come to school, give to these guardians that take 10,000. So somebody that gave me 10,000 last week, his son now killed another person. Now I know I'll collect another 10,000 next week. Will I be able to scold? Will I able to? I don't know if you are getting the point.
I get where you're going.
The role of money, the scarcity of money is a problem. The excess of money is a problem. So if the gap between the rich and the poor is wide, what it means is that the poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer. In that society, you cannot have fairness, you cannot have justice, and it's going to affect both classes. And that is what is playing out now.
Even in that society that you talk about, if there were to be freedom, don't you think freedom is on its own in that same society you're talking about is detrimental too?
When anything that is done in essence is not going to be done well. So too much of everything is an abuse. We can see when freedom goes too much in America, a 17-year-old boy can just go to his school and start shooting. Where does he get the gun from? The freedom to go and buy gun. I'm free to get this, so I have the money to get this, so I can get it either in the black market, either any market, since there is power of money to get, and I get it done. Unlike a society where the resources are being controlled by the people in form of the government. The teachers know he needs to teach. The gatesman knows that he's not a gatesman by status of inferiority, but by status of duty. That the security of these worlds, of these children, are in his own care. So nothing must happen to them. You can say an American soldier ready to die for an American citizen. That is patriotism. But in this case, they are not a border's keeper again. There is a concept of greed
and
covetousness in society. So it's happening. It's happening everywhere. We are seeing all these things
in almost all the spheres of the society.
This week for the nation is a very bad week. It's full of tragedy.
We'll still talk about more. Don't go away. We want to go on this short commercial break. It's still the Podium on 32 FM 94.9. I've been discussing with Oyeni Yeson, and we're looking at bullying and the case of Sylvester Oromoni there. Don't go away. Stay tuned.
gbógun takò jẹ̀dí tó ń sọ pé márùngbó takébé ríkèríkè ara èyí tó ń pọ̀ ní gógó. Of course. Ẹ̀gbọ́n rírì tọwọ́ tẹsẹ̀ egbòogi rẹ̀ rèé o ẹni bitters ti dé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ọba ni ẹni bitters níbi ká gbógun tàwọn àrùn tó lè sọ ní di kànjẹrẹ láì tí ìdàgbà tó nǹkan àtọ̀rá inú tí mú ní sọ̀rọ̀ àbàdì. ẹni Rehoboth Global Ventures ló ń ṣe ẹni bitters. Wọ́n wà ní nọ́mbà 33 Ondo Street Labour Ṣótókun Avenue Bódìjà àtijọ́ Ìbàdàn. Telephone 0803-862-7812. Bitters rèé o ẹni bitters ti dé.
àràǹbádá owó jẹ́ o.
ọjà táǹtà ni Royal Q and Trading Roberts. Bí o bá ti gbọ́ nípa Royal Trading Apps a kí ọ kú oríire. Bó o bá wá tí gbọ́ nípa rẹ̀ rí a jẹ́ wípé kó o súnmọ́ wa láti ní ìrírí rẹ̀. Royal Q Robot ní ètò kan pàtàkì láti mú àlékún bá owó dọ́là rẹ tó fi ń dókòwò nípele ìpele ṣùgbọ́n kò lè kọjá àlà. Royal Q ń pa owó fún ọ lẹ́yìn rẹ̀ lóṣooṣù. Láti túbọ̀ mọ̀ nípa rẹ̀ sí kàn sí wa lónìí ní nọ́mbà 32 Ilé Ìtẹ̀síwájú Ọbádébímpé Road Dùgbẹ̀ Junction nígbàgì àtijọ́ Ìbàdàn tàbí kó o pẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 08140373888 fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Ìbàdàn nìkan àmọ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lÉkòó ẹ pè sí 08082218224. Ojoojúmọ́ là ń pàdé nìkan bí ọwọ́ aago 11 àárọ̀ yàtọ̀ sọ́jọ́ àìkú Sunday. Ìwọ náà wà láti gba ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí ọ̀nà bí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ ti ṣe lè jẹ́ dúkìá gidi fún ẹ. Royal Q kò lè sọ ọ́ di mílíọ̀nìyà lójú ẹsẹ̀ o ṣùgbọ́n ó mú àlékún bá owó tó fi ń dókòwò ní sísẹ̀ntẹ̀lé kò sì tún ní owó alàgàtà nínú. Ọwọ́ rẹ ni àyàmọ́ rẹ wà báyìí o. Royal Q Robot ní ìrírí ọjọ́ iwájú tó dára báyìí.
Gbogbo ẹ̀yin oníbàárà Living Proof Supermarket ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́ ẹ kú àfọmọnìyàn ṣe àjọṣepọ̀ wa ò ní bàjẹ́ o. Láti wá fẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn la ṣe ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ìfà òpin ọdún Living Proof Appreciation Promo fún yín láti jẹ̀bùn lórí èyíkéyìí ọjà tẹ́ ẹ bá rà ní Living Proof Bakery and Supermarket tówó rẹ̀ bá ti tó $20,000 20,000 upward tẹ́sí máa jàǹfààní ẹ̀dínwó lórí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọjà wa ohun jíjẹ ohun mímu beverages toiletries drinks àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tó fi máa wọn búrẹ́dì wa sardine bread loaf bread coconut bread àti èyíkéyìí búrẹ́dì tẹ́ bá rà pẹ̀lú àwọn nǹkan panu ní eatery section wa ní LP Plaza Ayégún Ọ̀lẹ́yọ̀ Road tó fi mọ́ Old Martin Pharmacy ní Lee City University àti ilé ìtajà Living Proof lópòpónà Ológun Ẹrú ládojúkọ Mania Filling Station Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ tó fi mọ́ Old Pinnacle Building Fẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ Ìbàdàn. Ìfà òpin ọdún yìí ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ o yóò sì wá sópin ní December 31 2021 láti jàǹfààní ẹ máa pe 080-3545-7120 Living Proof End of the Year Appreciation Promo àjọ jẹni.
Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ nípasẹ̀ ìròyìn BBC ní Yorùbá nítorí kí o tó lè tayọ o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n. Ní ìmísí pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìròyìn láti ibi àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Nígbà tí o bá ní ìmọ̀ nípa ohun tó ń lọ ní àgbáyé o lè ṣe ohunkóhun. Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ wá BBC News Yorùbá kàn.
Iléeṣẹ́ Novesola wọ́n ní kí n sọ fún ọ pé tòjò tẹ̀rùn gbogbo àkókò ńlẹ̀ dá ádámà nílò náà yàtọ̀ sí náà dògán tá a fi ń sun bọ̀ọ̀lì lábà oko àgàgà yín náà sólà tó ń gbàgbára láti inú òrùn tó bá gbọ́ Novel sólà ní ó tẹ̀lé. Iléeṣẹ́ Novesola wọ́n ti wà ní sẹpẹ́ fún pèsè àwọn èròjà sólà lẹ́lẹ́kàǹkà inverter solar panels and batteries solar kit láti tanná láti charge battery gbọ́ rédíò kọrin jẹ̀gbádùn àti láti tanná ẹlẹ́yin bíi 2 sí 3 solar fan tó ń gbé fan láti tanná sùn dẹ́kun ẹ̀fọn amáranini ṣokùnfà àìsàn ibà solar floodlight fàyíká ilégbèé àtòpópónà fún sẹ̀mọ́lẹ̀ solar freezer láti ṣe nǹkan jíjẹ mímu lọ́jọ́sí kómi síta fóníbàárà solar CCTV camera ẹlẹ́yinjú àsáfà àbò nílé iṣẹ́ àtọ́fíìsì solar water heater tí somi tútù ní gbígbóná solar water pump tó lè fami gòkè ní kànga energy saving appliances DC bulb DCTV DC fan tó ń gbàgbára náà sára bẹ́ẹ̀ làkànṣe solar product wà fún dókítà lecturers farmers tailor àtàwọn ṣọ́ọ̀bù káríkárí Novesola kan náà ń lo kájú ẹ̀ kàn sí wọn bó rajà lólú iṣẹ́ wọn tó wà ní Akíndélé Plaza ìdójúkọ Adamasingba Stadium Mọ́kọ́lá Ìbàdàn tàbí lẹ́ka ilé iṣẹ́ wọn tó bá súnmọ́
081-8776-6005
Novesola ló mójútó sólà.
ẹ káàbọ̀ olólùfẹ́ mi ó mà yá yín kẹ̀.
ó ṣe jáyọ̀ǹda kíkí lásìkò tá a wáyé jíjẹ mímu ni ọba ń wá ná kí ni bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ̀.
ó yá gàrí. àrà ọ̀tọ̀ mà tún lélẹ̀ kẹ́.
gàrí ló gbé fún mi o fún mi ṣúgà.
ṣúgà ti wà ń bẹ̀.
mílíkì wa ń kọ́.
gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti pé sínú ẹ̀.
ó ti yá ìjọ aya mi.
ó yá gàrí. má wo bòmíì mọ́ gbogbo ń tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ló ti wà nínú rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú $50 péré.
ó yá gàrí bó ṣe wà láládùn ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló wà láládùn àgbọn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ sì lè rà káàkiri gbogbo ilé ìtajà.
Welcome back. It's still the Podium on 32 FM 94.9. Okay, Diran Babatunde on Facebook. Don't be surprised when results of investigation start coming up. Probably these parents were cultists and is a reflection of what the children are seeing from the parents and what they are exposed to on the internet. Parents, take care of your children. Son George Jones is asking some questions. He says, okay, you said the parents too need to stop this ego of my child or children attend so school because of the amount they pay. You also said the government too needs to scrutinize the application form for these establishments of any form of school or education center. And you went ahead, you said bribery also plays a huge role in this process. Then you asked the question, who is monitoring the process? You want to join the conversation? 0705 5949 and 0809 7949. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, 0705 5949 0809 7949. Son George Jones is saying, who is monitoring the process and decisions in this situation? Okay, Akomolafe Iyade Rufus. In my own point of view, the parents share the larger portion of the blame. In some schools, you dare not scold or discipline a child. The parents will take it up. What do you expect from a teacher or hostel master who knew what it took him to get a job? Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Ibrahim from Apata.
Ibrahim, go ahead.
On this issue, I can just say it's just a social problem, because I was just thinking about it now. Like, in school, there is courtism now in all ramifications of school. Not to talk of in police force, in all these force, even in political offices, they have caucuses, and their children also. This inferiority complex has been from rise of time. Like now, we are just talking about it with my wife now. Like, this 50,000 naira for a month, that's 200,000 naira. To me, as I'm talking about the doing, is not much. But any poor person that is hearing 200,000 in a month will say, "Wow, that's a lot of money." I think that's how the inferiority complex started. We need to just, like, now the principal cannot talk because he was put there collecting salary. The management cannot talk because they are people, their own cabal. They are people that they are the same pet. They are the owner of the school. And the principal is supposed to talk, hear from the children. Like now, I just work with the command secondary school. The new commander is collecting a suggestion box. He has the suggestion box. Every student, I know how many students in the school, and he wants those students to write something about the school. So I want the schools should have something like that, and they should put in place security cameras where it needs to be, not in the private place.
Okay, you've made your point. Thank you for calling. 0705 5949 and 0809 7949. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Chike and Esson, I thank you for what you have been doing so far. You see, I put the blame 40% on the school authority, 40% on government, and 20% on the parents. You see, whether we like it or not, our children spend more time in school than at home. So the duty of care, of teaching them morality, rests solely on the school, whatsoever the school authority, the teachers, and all the management teaches the so-called pupils. So in our days, you dare not try it. Teachers will, in fact, before you get to that level, they would have sent for your parents. In my days, we only have one. I finished in 1985. There are no private schools. So whenever you are developing attitude that is in fact that is not good, they will send for your parents. So the teachers and the principal, all the management of the school should bury their head in shame because they were not able to bring this issue to the fore before everything went haywire. The government, in the sense that they were not able to regulate, in fact, they left schools they allowed private tutors that are not even supposed to be in the educational sector to take care and control the school system. I don't want to talk much. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right. Thank you for calling. You want to react to that?
Yes. It said 40% school, 40% government, 20% parents. Fantastic. Let's be realistic about this. He said as of 1985, there are no private schools in his own time, it shows that
it depends on the area.
Which shows that the environment, society he live, all the schools are controlled, owned by the government.
Okay.
So there are standard.
There was a standard there.
Yes.
Okay, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Mr. Gabriel from Academy.
Gabriel from where?
Academy.
Let's have your thoughts quickly.
You see, I want to start with do I say pocket money of 50,000 being given to the boy if I'm right?
Go ahead. It's your thoughts.
If I'm right with that 50,000.
Well, according to the father, he says he buys provision 50,000 weekly.
Is he giving to that boy directly or to the school authority so that they give it? In fact, 50,000 to me as a person, if that guy is in an hotel, is too much. He has spoiled the side. Because this guy has, he will be looking at the teachers and even the what you want. When my father come, I give you this. They guys will bastardize everything. This is fair with each other. We want to come and we have been giving ourselves problems. These teachers, they cannot claim this side because this is a boy that his father spent a lot of money. Money is a problem. And to the end of it, to the end result of it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Look at the angle she's looking at it. She said money is the problem. Money in this sense is not just money, it is too much money. Let's look at it. That kind of environment, the kind of children that goes there. These are children that are exposed to foreign countries. These are children that are exposed to foreign cultures. These are students that have been to foreign places, exposed to different kinds of foreign things. These are the things they bring back home. The society there does not want them. The society here, they have been authoritative. They now become the local bourgeoisies. Even within that kind of class, they form a courtesan, a class within a class. That shows that in their own, let's see the class now. So what they are trying to tell us now, in a class, there is a class. So in the hostel, there is a class. In the school, in the church, everywhere, there is class. And look at the end of it for the kids. He could not manage the crisis. So look at that child. The child is solely responsible for himself. So he could not go on again with life. So the time for the parents to now show cares, they are now just coming. The father did not even have intention of coming out. It was the cousin that posted it from London on social media. He was not interested. So look at issues like that. If there are regulations, if there are rules established by the government for school standard to be achieved, this will not still happen.
How do we look at the mental state of this of the family and even other students, even people who are not even from the Dowen College? From the mental health perspective, what do you look out for in a child who is being bullied? What do you look out for in a child who is being bullied? A psychiatrist and a clinical psychologist, Dr. Richard Adebayo, shares his own thoughts on this issue. Let's take a listen to Dr. Richard Adebayo.
There are a lot of things to look into. Number one, how close are you? What's the kind of psychological bonding that you have with your children? It's not just enough to pay school fees and buy provisions. The rapport, the psychological bonding. When you have that kind of bonding, your child will be able to communicate well with you. Because communication is very key, whether at home or in the school. You know, we talk about structures and having housemasters, mistresses there. The pupils should be able to freely communicate. When you're having problems, you'll be able to communicate. But when there's a gap, you know, there, it will be very difficult for children to communicate. So the first thing, parents, because the home is the first school, so there should be a kind of psychological bonding that your child can relate well with you, can open up to you, can expose what is passing through. And when that child comes from school, and you now notice that, oh, this child had lost weight, it's not just enough to feel that maybe they are not being properly fed in school. Maybe a warning sign that this child is having problem, or is suddenly becoming dull, you know, not cheerful again. That may be a sign that a lot of things are going on in his mind. And also academic performance, because after a while, the academic performance tends to go down. There will be changes in eating habits, changes also in sleep patterns. These are some of the things that we can watch out for, apart from the physical injuries or looking for injuries on the body and all that. But the psychological state of that child and ability, you know, for you to communicate and for that child to respond is very key.
Princess, your breakfast don ready oh. Okay, mommy. Do make you chop your breakfast sharp sharp. Make you for no late go school oh.
Mama, this taste na super yummy.
Wetin be that tasty aroma? I guess it go be...
Na Oya custard meal.
Oya custard meal?
Yes, darling. Na Oya custard wey dey rich with vanilla flavor wey dem blend wella. E get 50 gram wey dem dey sell for just 15 naira plus 200 gram sachet own sef. Oya custard dey easy to prepare and you fit chop am with akara, moi moi, bread, beans plus other etc.
Abeg, arrange my own with moi moi jo.
But I think say you been want.
For one day jo. Na Oya custard all the way oh.
Oya custard powder, great taste for price wey no tear pocket.
òótọ́ ni pé boko ọ̀bá jìnnà ẹ̀ lákì í kó gbogbo ẹni tó fẹ́ rajà oúnjẹ bí ẹni rà lọ́wọ́ àgbẹ̀ iṣu ẹ̀wà àtẹlùbọ́ láfúnlẹ̀ ń fẹ́ ni àbẹ́lùbọ́ kóró èso àtẹwébẹ̀ lóríṣiríṣi Rejoice Place Village Market ni ẹ máa bọ̀ ọjà olóko ní tààrà ni wọ́n ń tà níbẹ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ sátidé kò lè má rí bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn àgbẹ̀ ni wọ́n supply wọn tààrà látoko òǹkóhun tẹ́ bá wá ń fẹ́ tí ó fi yín lọ́kàn balẹ̀ organic farm products lóríṣiríṣi bọ́jà àwọn ṣe fresh ló ṣe dínwó bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ ra yọ̀ọ̀ra rúrepo kò dìgbà tẹ́ ẹ bá dóríta mẹ́rin àbí bódìjà kẹ́ ẹ tó ra ń tẹ́ ń fẹ́ wìtìwìtì làwọn èèyàn ná Rejoice Place Village Market bó jẹ́ tóní patí tàbí èyí tẹ́ fẹ́ jẹ nílé ẹ má làágùn jìnnà mọ́ o Rejoice Place Village Market ni ẹ máa ná number 42 ló wà ní Liberty Road by Bọ́lá Ìgè bus stop adjacent DB filling station Òkè Àdó Ìbàdàn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 081-8715-4256 tàbí 090-9888-0153 wọ́n wà lórí ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ at Rejoice Place Supermarket Rejoice Place Village Market ọjà olóko ni wọ́n ń tà níbẹ̀.
Ọlọ́run máa gbàgbé mi o.
àdúgbò ẹgbẹ́ gbogbo èèyàn kúrò lọ́wọ́ ogun ègún àti ìjákulẹ̀ ní Mexican puti CAC májẹ̀mú àánú nínú pàdé yẹn ní 72 hours. Bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ Prophet Taiwo Òjó. Àkórí 72 hours ní Ọlọ́run fún bàbá. Àánú a máa gbani. Mercy can save. Látọjọ́ Friday 10 di Sunday 12 December. Ní Jésù bàbá aláàánú fúnra rẹ̀. Tí máa fi àánú gba gbogbo èèyàn lọ́wọ́ agbára tó mú wọn lẹ̀. Tí ò jẹ́ wọn kọjá síbi gíga. Ọ̀pọ̀ ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run àtàwọn olórí ẹ̀mí bí. Màmá bí Sẹ́láwì Yálùkò. Bùnmi Akínà àánú orin jí ojú mi. Ìlàjà Akíntúndí Ọlọ́run sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Kẹ́ni ológun àrà. Ṣọlá Oyèlékè. Bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ Prophet Taiwo Òjó ni wọ́n máa gba gbogbo èèyàn lálejò. Aago 9 òwúrọ̀ lọ́jọ́ Friday nínú àdúrà yóò ti máa jò. Ìdájí lọ́jọ́ Monday la máa ṣorí ọ̀fẹ́. Láti Ìbàdàn tó bá sì jẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Ọ̀sẹ̀ gẹ́rẹ́ ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀. Ní Mẹ́síkà 08050275779. Afẹ́ bá gbogbo èèyàn dá máa jẹ̀mú àánú fún òmìnira pátápátá máa bọ̀.
Kérésìmesì ọdún lẹ́.
ẹ̀yin ọmọdé àsìkò náà tún ti dé wàyí o níbi tẹ́ ó ti máa jẹ̀bùn ẹ jẹ́ tiẹ̀ ṣíwèé ìrántí kàn yín náà kí ẹ gbọ́ díẹ̀ nínú àtẹ̀yìnwá.
ọmọ yìí ti jẹ́ ọmọ yìí ti jẹ́lẹ̀.
TV alálẹ̀ mọ́gìrì 32 inches lẹ́tí láǹfààní àti jẹ fọ́mọ yín báyìí o. èyí tó wà nù káàdì yẹn náà ni Android phone. ọmọ yín ti jẹ́ kẹ̀kẹ́.
ètò lẹ́tà sí santa olójoojúmọ́ láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ ló tún ti gbìnàyà níbi tá ó ti máa yí koto oríire láago 5 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 15 sáago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ àti aago 5 sí 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ní gbogbo òpin ọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ̀rún 2 náírà péré. o lè mú fọ́ọ̀mù lẹ́tà sí santa rẹ kí santa rẹ ó sì gbà ọ́ lálejò ní gbọ̀ngàn ìtajà ìgbàlódé ti Jericho Mall tàbí bí ẹ bá ń fẹ́ kí a gbé santa tí wọ́n bá bá yín lálejò nílé ẹ̀kọ́ tiyín bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ 23 oṣù kọkànlá sí ọjọ́ 24 oṣù kejìlá ọdún tá a wà yìí. ẹ pè àǹtí yẹ́lò sí 0803 651 5050 tàbí arámidé sórí 0704 42 63 290. season 2 lẹ́tà sí santa tọdún yìí pẹ̀lú ìgbọ̀wọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ Colgate, Kellogg's, Flour Mills Nigeria àti àtìlẹ́yìn Power Oil.
Are you hanging out with friends this weekend? Getting on the chairs or just simply relaxing? Something is missing. The music. Music is definitely what makes your weekend better. So, what now? Let's count down. What better way to enjoy your weekend? The Top 10 Music Countdown with Aiza is here for you. Tune in Saturdays from 12:15 p.m. to 1 p.m. as we count down the top 10 songs for the week alongside trending entertainment gist home and abroad. You just don't want to miss it. The Top 10 Music Countdown with Aiza. There is no better way to enjoy your weekend. So, we are counting down. I get to know
máa tọ́jú ọmọ yín ọmọ gbọ́ tó bí ẹ kó bàbá tọ́jú ọmọ yín ọmọ gbọ́ tó bí ẹ. ẹni bá bímọ sílẹ̀ kó tọ́ dáadáa nítorí ẹ̀yìn wọ́ọ̀la. ilé ayé àwa lọ ọlọ́mọ ló láyé lẹ́yìn wọ́ọ̀la. màmá má jẹ́ oṣù ẹ̀ bàbá má jẹ́ òrẹ́.
Welcome back, Biodun Ayinde Bakare singing there, Toju Omo. That's the song there. Before we went on that break, we're still looking at all these issues revolving around the death of Oromoni Sylvester. We're looking at who is to be blamed, the society, or who? The government, the parent, the school, who? But when you keep asking the question, who, when will you ask the question, what do you do? How do you solve it? Sonja Jones again. He says our moral values in all aspects needs to be revisited again in Nigeria as a whole. You think we need social engineering? Or you need a song?
Yes, social engineering. That is the way forward.
Social engineering?
Yes, we need to reorientate. We need to reignite the consciousness of the people to be our borders keeper.
How do we achieve that?
In this kind of system, I don't know. I don't know, because everywhere is porous. There is no place to be trusted. Even schools owned by churches, we have victims of bullying. It's like bullying is as old as education itself. So it's everywhere for the children. But the problem is the closeness between the child and the parent. How close is the child and the parent? How close is child and his teacher? How close is the teacher, the child, and his house? The housekeeper. How close? These are the custodians of this child's welfare. These are people that take huge amount of money for the child's welfare.
Somebody has to be responsible, right?
For it.
All right. And then those who are responsible are not living up to their responsibility.
Sylvester never played football. The school authority said he has injury from football wounds. Look at the contradiction. The school authority does not even know that the boy involved does not even play football. So that shows that there is everyone involved has to be blamed. We cannot concentrate the blame on the school alone. We can also look at the home. The concept of home. What is happening to home? Is the home really settled? Is the home not broken? Is it not scattered? If the child reported to his father, his father sent his senior brother to the school, the senior brother have to call that this is out of his own control before they could come down. How much time do we have for our children? How much care? How much do we know our children? Even anybody can be a victim.
How do we fix this failure?
It takes conscious effort for everybody in our society to be responsible to each other. It's a conscious effort thing. For China to be great, they need to be conscious of their brother's keeper. So an injury to one is an injury to all. So even it shows that even in the school there is no solidarity. The boy does not have his age group that he could. I don't know if you get the point.
I'm listening.
So what we are trying to say is that the departed Sylvester around money would have been a victim of long period of bullying, and nobody knows.
He would have been a victim of what? Long
period of bullying.
Very long period.
Not tell anybody. The ideas no. What are those factors used against him for you not to have spoken?
Fear.
So fear of what? As a child, what is he meant? How close is he to his father?
And you can imagine how many kids have been exposed to such fear, to such things. Many vulnerable kids out there, and many a times the parents are not there to even monitor. The parents, where are they? Even when parents try to find out what happens to their words, some of them hit a brick wall. How do such parents go about it? Let's listen to Dr. Richard Adebayo again, giving an advice on how parents can achieve this. When you keep talking and then nothing happens, the child does not say a word, you hit a brick wall. How do you fix it? Dr. Richard Adebayo.
With the teachers, oftentimes they find out about how a child is coping in one subject or the other. But we should also look into that aspect of who is your closest friend, who are your friends. And then we can also interact with some of them too and find out what's happening. And also ask that child directly. Because studies have shown that oftentimes these victims, they keep quiet, believing that even if I talk, maybe the teachers will not believe me or they will not do anything about it. So looking out and asking questions, because we believe that prevention is better than cure. For the young guy that has gone now, he's gone, unfortunately. We can't bring him back. So asking questions deliberately. Oh, your provisions, what has happened to your provisions? Oh, you are quiet. I can see that you are not, what's going on? Or talk to the friends. If the child is able to tell you that, oh, Tola is my friend, Christopher is my friend, can you find out about what's going on, Looking at the physical state of that child. Even if that child is not ready to talk, by giving probing questions, sometimes in a loving manner, that child will likely open up. But when we just gloss over those things, then there will be a problem. I remember the media report about this unfortunate incident. If it's correct, that the boy was telling the parents that he would like his school to be changed, that he will not want to go back to that school. That may be a warning sign that something terrible has been going on in his mind concerning the school. When a child is losing interest in the place of learning, it may be an evidence that bullying is going on. And that bullying may not be from fellow pupils or students. Sometimes maybe from staffs. We should not just look at it that bullying is only from among students. It can also be from staffs, it can be from adults. People tend, where there's imbalance of power, That's where you have bullying, that one can exert himself or authority over others. Where they both have equal power, it's not likely that there will be bullying. There may be other conflicts, so to say, but not necessarily bullying. So we should be on the lookout. We should ask questions. We should ask friends or colleagues of the child. Oftentimes, we may be able to get a lot of things. Oh, you bought provision, we should be able to last, let me say, a term. And 1 month, everything's finished. It's not just enough to feel that maybe the child is consuming everything. Maybe a senior student there has been oppressing that child.
Some of them have been undergoing this, and then they bottle up a lot. So it would take a great deal of work by parents to get things out of this or out of such kids. Not all kids react that way. Some kids react based on fear. Some are just naturally bottlenecks. They don't really want to say anything. But then, how do we solve this problem?
We have to go back to the old society.
Because this is an issue of anarchy. How do we solve this?
We have to go back to the old fashion of things.
Okay.
How our forefathers get things done.
Mm-hmm.
If we do not go back to those old things, we still have many Sylvesters in the society. Because we need to ask questions.
What were our forefathers doing? What were our grandfathers doing? Our fathers? What were they doing? What were they doing then?
There is one thing our forefather talks about, the philosophy of the Yoruba people, like many eyes.
Many you have 4 eyes.
4 eye syndrome. It's called 4 eye syndrome.
The 4 eye syndrome. Okay.
The 4 eye syndrome in the Yoruba philosophy believes that we have 2 persons to give birth to a child, but the whole community have to look after the child. That system is communal in nature. That system preaches communality. You have to be your brother's keeper by fire, by force. In that society, you are not related by blood.
Yes.
You are related by the fact that we are brothers.
Yes.
We are sisters.
Yes.
That consciousness, because we need to put some things into place. For an instance, if such things could have happened in my own society, in my own family, my father will hand me over to the police. I know my father to be a very disciplined man. He will take me straight to the police. And we're not going to go back there. We won't ever go back there. Knowing that my father will not stand for me, I will not go out there to pass my boundaries.
You just reminded me of what happened, a story that happened many years ago when Chief Obafemi Awolowo's daughter was she was punished in school, and she left Ekiti State and came to Ibadan to come report the teacher or to report to her father that she was beaten up. And then late Awu joined his daughter and they went back to school. He got to the school and at the assembly ground asked, "Who punished my daughter?" People were scared. But the head girl, the senior prefect, came out and said, "Yes, I did." And Chief Awu shook the girl's hand, gave her £2 then.
That is a fantastic father.
And then entered his vehicle and zoomed off.
That is how it's supposed to be. That is how it's supposed to be. We have to have the concept that my child is our child. Your child is our child. I don't know if you get the point.
There's no social class.
There is no discrimination.
No discrimination.
There is no class. There is no class. And we have to stop this philosophy from parents whereby my child is civilized. My child goes to this kind of schools. My child is this. My child is that. That philosophy ruins things. It does not allow the parents to get to know the children involved.
And sometimes it might lead to some aggravated anger by some other kids who are covetous in nature. And at the end of the day, they start rebelling.
What gives birth to covetousness? If not starting from the home, charity begins at home. What are the profiles of the parents of those children mentioned by Sylvester?
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, from Bodija here. Biodun.
All right, Biodun from Bodija.
I want to commend the gentleman who's your guest there.
Thank you.
And you also for ever being concerned about the progress of our country and our communities.
Thank you.
Let me just paraphrase my response. There is a Yoruba proverb. I may not be able to exactly translate it, but it says, "Ìmàdùbá ṣe bí ẹlẹ́dẹ̀, àbàlújẹ́, ẹrú ìbájọba, èèyàn oníkùkan." Imado is warthog. It looks like a pig. So if a warthog, which lives in the wild, plays the role of a pig, which can live amongst human beings, and then you consider the other side, a slave and a true-born child. The two of them are children, but they are by far different in nature and social orientation. Herbert Macaulay became popular despite that he came from a rich family, but he still had certain decorum about him. But people we have today stumble on money without going through the prerequisite raising. Therefore, everything is gone to the warthog and to the slaves. What your guest said there, when you suggested social engineering, he didn't take in time to say that is the solution. We are looking at the case of that boy that died today. Millions of cases that are a result of this kind of lacuna in the proper development of a sane and, how would I put it, in a sane society. It's happening, even as we are talking. So it will take a long time for you to come on radio and discuss individual happenstances and examples, but the bottom line is this: the foundation, if it be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Thank you so much, Abiodun from Bodija, calling there. Well, you listened to him, and before the call came in, we're looking at anarchy. We're looking at covetousness and how it all started. Then you now look at the rebellious society. The youths are becoming, some of them are becoming rebellious, especially when you trace it back to what happened in Edo State. And then you ask, how would secondary school students, the story has it that they were meant to write the exam and they said they were not ready to write exams, and then a police officer, according to the story I have, the police officer who was attached to the school, these students descended on him, beat him up, took off his clothes, damaged the school. In fact, yesterday, the governor of Edo State said the students will be responsible for the repair of the school, and it will cost them, the whole damage is estimated to about 30 million naira. And then you ask yourself a question. These are kids not of Dowen. These are kids of a government school. And then you look at the decadence. How do we fix this moral decadence in the society?
Cases of such ungooding behavior,
yes,
you can see they are now rampant in society. They are in addition to banditry. They are in addition to kidnapping, to armed robbery, and to terrorism occurring in different parts of the nation. The situation that have made this country has made us one of the riskiest countries in the world that is very risky to be a Nigerian. In such society, what do we need to do? When anarchy is on the loose, it's like a roving lion in the society. How can we tame it? So it's going to be a collective effort of the general society.
The other day in Ibadan, in a school here, somewhere around Jericho, a student, was punished in school, reported to her mom. Her mom came to school with thugs to come attack.
Look at another failure of another kind.
That is a parental issue there. Here in Ibadan. And I saw another video, during the week. A young boy. I saw that courtesy of What's Up Ibadan, his Instagram page. A young boy who was caught. He says he's 13 years old with a knife, a short spear.
In his hand.
In his hands. And he was being asked, what are you doing with this? He has stabbed 2 people already. And that he has a gang of 7 boys. Look at the degeneration.
So how do we tackle this kind of situation?
I should be asking you.
The problem is that
is it a question for all of us?
It's a question for everybody. Everybody is responsible. The pastor, the bishop, the imam, the teacher, the philosopher. Everybody in society is responsible for the moral delinquency. Everybody is responsible. It's going to take conscious effort on our own part to play our role.
This should be part of the restructuring we're talking about, right?
We cannot hand everything over to the government. The society is this is what is happening everywhere.
But it can be fixed, right?
How?
It can be fixed. There's nothing. There's no problem without a solution.
Then the institutions that made up the society must go through social engineering. I will not stop saying that. We are talking about the school, the church, the mosque. Everywhere is porous. Everywhere is corrupt in society. These are the results.
The results
is the result. Is the aftermath of what we have planted.
For you, dear kid, there, the youth, if you're listening, and the young boy in school, remember the kind of family you come from. Even if the environment is unpleasant, if it is squalid, all you need to do, learn how to live right, inculcate and imbibe good virtues into yourself and to the parents at home. Create time for the kids. Create time for the kids to monitor and mentor them. And to those teachers in school, all you need to do is this. Do the right thing. Take these kids as your own kids. See them as yours. They won't derail if you do that. And to our state governments, what do we need to do?
To our state government, I'm of the opinion that the state government should remove their stronghold on local governments. So that the third tier of government
that is closer to the people.
Yes, so that the third tier of government can have a communal relationship with the communities that they serve. They will pay more attention to the educational institution in their respective areas. They will have supervisor super for environment. So look at Lagos State for an instance. The same Lagos State, each local government has supervisor for environment, supervisor for health, supervisor for education. In those things, they will supervise on a weekly basis. What is happening here? What is going on here? But with the lack of local government in the society, in the system, is reflecting that the government is far away from the people.
We actually have local governments.
The effectiveness, the efficiency of this local government as local government in their functional responsibilities. If they are in their functional responsibility, if they are in full force, such things can still be cross-checked.
We have to start from the grassroots, right?
The grassroots, the parents and guardians too should be more alive.
Thank you for featuring on the podium this morning, Oyeniye Son. I call him a sonism. Thank you for being there.
Thank you for hosting me, Mr. Chike.
All right. Thank you, dear listener, for being there. Remember the advice I gave to parents, to the young one on the street, and the advice to government. Let us start from the grassroots to get things right. My name is Chike Obogo. Until I come your way, 9 a.m. next week, Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy this song by Kayode Fashola.